Doctoral education and doctoral candidates have a key role in new knowledge and social, theoretical and technological innovation production. Up-to-date, systematic and high-quality PhD supervision is the crucial tool that supports impactful doctoral education and prepares doctoral candidates to contribute to research and society. In this brief video, I discuss the core essential elements of doctoral supervision and the generic starting points for this online resource. My name is Pirjo Nikander and I'm the Research Director of the Doctoral School in Tampere University, Finland. This video is divided into 3 parts. First, I discuss some of the key institutional structures and resources of the university and the role of individual supervisors. Second, I discuss some key practices of supervision and the impact that the format of the thesis may have on supervision skills. Third, and to conclude, I raise the issue that as successful supervisors, we need not only pedagogical skills, but also to update our own research skills. So let's start with the role of the university and that of the individual supervisor. The provision of supervisor training and up-to-date tools and support on the university level is a sign of appreciation and a concrete investment in the work done by supervisors. I think ideally the institution should see high-quality PhD supervision training as a part of the university's research strategy and acknowledge it as a key tool to support early-stage researchers' impact and careers. The university should adopt widely agreed upon international principles of good quality supervision and have its own local codes and documents for good practice. The university's role is also to raise awareness on existing documents or codes of ethics and research integrity in the institution and beyond. Support on the quality and clarity of roles by having clear statements of the rights and responsibilities of both the supervisors and the supervisee, as well as transparent procedures for conflict management, need to be in place. Universities need to ensure continuity in supervision relationships and perhaps encourage the practice of 2 supervisors or considering other means of widening the expertise of supervision to include mentors, industry or partner experts, or wider advisory boards. As a whole, then, the university can commit to and support a professional supervision culture by providing training and sufficient induction to new supervisors. What about the crucial role of the supervisor then? Well, the literature on supervision names a multitude of potential roles and the differences between them: coach, mentor, trainer, etc. Most importantly, the supervisor needs to serve as a role model for research, practice, ethical conduct, open science, integrity, and good practices. In other words, the supervisor is a guide to the institutional university setting, what resources are available and where, and to the academic world more broadly. Personally, I find that it is useful to start by doing a skills and goals analysis with a new supervisee. Where does he or she want to be at the end of it? What skills are needed for the successful completion of the thesis and beyond? One could say that the thesis is a byproduct, whereas the skills developed throughout and how they are put to practice after the defense are the focal point here. Therefore, the supervisor needs to discuss about the PhD process as well as the end product, the thesis. Establishing the relationship, having clear timelines, agendas, deadlines is equally central. And in case there are 2 supervisors, also discuss the division of labor between 2 supervisors so that the supervisee knows who to turn to and when. The supervisor is also a role model and a guide to international and intersectional mobility and secondments. Only a fraction of PhD work within the academia, so encouraging intersectionality and collaboration with industry in its broadest sense can open doors to the global work market. COVID-19 also raised mental health and resilience and well-being onto the agenda. So make sure you discuss well-being and offer extra support when it is needed. Use group, individual and online supervisory formats flexibly to do this. And finally, one must remember that the supervisor also has rights, not only responsibilities. So make sure you know your own confines and your role and your own expertise, and direct your supervisor elsewhere in case you're not the best expert on the matter. As the saying goes, it takes a village. I now move on to the second part of my talk, the format of the thesis and its potential impact on supervision. In Europe overall, I think we can say that the monograph format for the thesis is the most traditional format for the dissertation. This book format, consisting of chapters and building and carrying the argument across throughout the whole text, is built on independent work and revision of the text right up to the defense. Side by side with the monograph, however, the PhD by publication or article PhD is either the long-term tradition in some disciplines or an upcoming format for the thesis. So what does the format of the thesis mean in terms of supervision practice? First, in case where two formats are possible options, the supervisor needs to take up the potential consequences of this choice for the supervisee career. Pursuing an academic career can be smoother in case the thesis already consists of several publications. The process in both cases is also considerably different. Whereas the monograph consists of individual and chapter-by-chapter independent work, the PhD by publication often builds on publication collaboration, perhaps within a broader project, and offers experience in journal practice, sets deadlines, and provides feedback along the way. Here one naturally needs to agree on the principles of joint publishing, including the ethics and writer roles early on. The monograph writer could be encouraged to network, get feedback in different forms, and perhaps publish an article based on a chapter, time permitting, of course. Both dissertation formats require clear structure and argumentation and develop somewhat different academic skills. Some still claim that there is room for slow science and monograph-length research as well. Finally, in the case of the article PhD or PhD by publication, the supervisor needs to encourage keeping the integrative or summary chapter on the back burner throughout the process. What is its role? And how does it best outline the red thread of the thesis and the articles included? The integrative chapter represents the supervisor's independent work, so support at this phase is sometimes extra important, particularly in the case that articles are joint productions. I now turn to the third and final part, the skills we encourage our supervisors to develop throughout the doctorate. My key claim here is that the scope of researcher skills is broadening, and therefore it is crucial that we not only pass on skills, but also update our own knowledge base and skill set as supervisors. So let's start by looking at one map of the transferable or research skills, as I prefer to call them. This one is by EuroDoc, the European Council of Doctoral Candidates and Junior Researchers. Here we can see the variety of skills needed to both successfully complete the thesis and, more importantly, to find employment in or outside the academia after completion. The supervisor need not be an expert in all these areas laid out here: research, mobility, career development, communication, interpersonal and enterprising skills, or the variety of crucial digital skills. What is important, however, is that in addition to pedagogical and researcher skills, the supervisor has an idea of the broadening skill sets needed and to as mentioned earlier, that he or she does a skills and goals analysis with the supervisee. It is similarly important to update one's own knowledge base on such constantly developing areas of research as open science, research ethics, data management, digital methods, and new software. Again, the supervisor need not be a total expert on everything, but rather be able to guide the supervisee to seek support in the right source. Very often supervision also works both ways, and the teacher becomes the student. On the university level, it is central to be aware that supervisors represent different cohorts, and therefore, in addition to supervision, staff training that updates researcher skills more broadly is also needed to sustain successful and up-to-date supervision on the institutional level. So the three topics raised in this short video, the role of the university and the individual supervisor, the demands the format of the thesis sets on supervision, and the skills needed by no means cover all aspects of supervision. They and numerous other themes will be covered also in the other videos and materials provided in this DocEnhance Supervision resource. I sincerely hope that you find it useful in your work.